What up, everybody? Welcome to another coffee hour with Paul. Dude, I look old in this picture. What's up, everybody? Special shout out, Logan. Welcome. You made the right choice, my friend. All right. I can smell a proud daddy in the house. So, hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me on today's coffee hour where we're going to do some exam prep questions. We're going to feed the hog. We're going to have a good old time. Hopefully, you caught the first part of this week where we did the optional method. Pretty cool to be able to go through it step by step. You'll learn something from it, I guarantee. And remember that you can always watch these episodes starting Monday over on Fast Tracks Tube. There'll be a special folder, special series that you can watch coffee hours there without, just go there and you can do it. If you're a Fast Tracks Tube member, we're going to make them exclusive over there for you to watch those. And slowly, some of the replays and stuff like that we had over on YouTube will disappear. Okay, because we're not about the clicks, so we'll move it over there because we like our platform so much better. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Like always, you have options in the morning to get your coffee fix. And electricians out there, people say, "Why the hell do I want to wake up in the morning and talk code with somebody?" Because I don't just talk code. I'm here. I'm your motivational morning. I'm your coffee. Yes, I'm going to push some items. Okay, there's our coffee mugs available in our store over on fasttracksystem.com. Yeah, of course. I'm the Vanna White of the electrical. But at the end of the day, we want to learn something. And as always, I live vicariously through all of our students, all of our members, all of our followers. And I appreciate you all. You have no idea how much I do. I get up every day blessed to be able to do what I do. Thank you, Encore Wire and Prismium, for allowing me to do what I do. Thank you, Electrical Code Academy, for giving me a great platform. And we're getting better and better. We're growing and growing, and I'm excited about the future. Yeah, always looking forward. Can't look back. Got to keep looking forward. Hey, if it's the first time you've ever joined us on Coffee Hour, we're glad you're here. We do this Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Every week, unless, of course, I'm sick or I have a prior engagement, then I'll play a replay. And you'll know it's a replay because I won't answer your comments, right? So that's a great way to know. But thanks for joining me. And hopefully you join us for another episode. And remember, we have a lot of recorded episodes, so check that out. Hey, also, as always, I love to hear who's out there. So let me know your name, where you're from. If you're a Fast Track student or not, that's okay. We love having you either way. Let us know in the comments. And lastly, make sure you do hashtag win to get in on a spin. Charlie has informed us it doesn't have to be all caps, so just do hashtag win. I do believe it has to be its own submission, right? Like you can't say something and then do hashtag win at the end, but that might work too. So I don't know. I learn something new every day. So at least get that hashtag win in there so you can get in on a spin. We have a great list growing of giveaways and drawings that we're going to do on March 31st around about. So get excited for that. We love giving stuff away and helping promote the show, that type of thing. Now, we had some giveaways from previous shows that never went out. If you're one of those, I apologize. That got lost in the transition between Texas and Virginia. So I don't know. Reach out to me and I can dig it up somewhere. But yeah, that was just a poop incident because there was so much going on trying to get back here to Virginia. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining me. Let's do some shout outs real quick because I always love to do this in the morning. What do we got here? Adam, good morning. You got your paper, pencil ready and everything, calculator. Where's that pint of coffee though? I'm just saying, Adam. I didn't see the pint of coffee. Adam shows you what to do here. Start the morning out. It's hashtag win. Let's go. Let's see. We got Rob's in the house. Rob said, let's feed the hog. We will feed the hog today. We're going to play with the hog a couple times today as well. Welcome, Casper. I see the win. Rob in here. I see it. Good morning, David. It's almost Friday. We're getting there. We got one more day to hustle, and then we'll get there. Jay Electric, I see you in there. Good morning, Nepo. Good morning. Glad you have you in here. There you go, Adam. That's what I'm talking about right there. Your son's in the house. There you go. Gotta love that. What's up, Melting Toast? Thanks for being here. Van Man, thanks for being. Good morning, Charlie. Glad to have you here. Frank, I see you in the house. Thanks for being here. We're getting there. What's up, Dan? Does it seem like the weeks just flow so much quicker? I don't know. Since I relocated from Texas to Virginia, there's something that just feels like the weeks just click by. Life is just spinning around. What's up, Paul? Thanks for joining us down in Houston. Fernando, it's in the house from Greenville, South Carolina, watching us over on Fast Tracks Tube. I appreciate that, Fernando. We got a bunch of people throwing up the win in there. Of course, it wouldn't be a good morning without my boy, Red Dog. Muy bueno dias. Hashtag win, getting it out there. Rob's reminding us again, good morning. Okay. Iowa. State of Iowa. I bet it's still chilly in Iowa. What's up, Terrence? Representing D.C., Maryland, and Virginia is in the house. I see you, Richard. Thanks for joining us. From Anaheim. That's what I'm talking about. Look at everybody. Edgar, good morning. Throwing up that hashtag win. Getting in on the spin. Thanks for joining me. Van Man, I am doing well, my friend. Are you still in that lift? Dude, are you ever getting out of that lift? You need lift pay. I'm just saying, you're always in that lift. Man is always working up on the lift. I knew Adam would have his pint. Got 32 ounces of coffee. Dude's going to be bouncing off the walls by the end of the day, and that's okay. That's okay. What's up, Haas? Good morning. Glad to have you here. Sean, what is up, my friend? I am good. I am blessed. I could, you know what? I've got my coffee. I got my friends. I got the electrical industry. Cliche as that may sound, dude, when you wake up as an electrician, ain't nobody got nothing on you. Everything revolves around the electrician. Don't worry about what those plumbers say. Don't worry about what the others say. Everything revolves around the electrician because we make it work, okay? We're the keepers of the current. I'm just saying. Hassan out of Richmond, right down the road from me. All right. So, hey, keep alive. You never know when I might be down there. Oh, my God. Look who's in the house this morning. Uh-oh. Hold on. Schwartzy is in the house. Dr. Schwartz. What up, Schwartzy? I'm glad you like the wallet, my friend. Kendra, Beto, welcome. Let's see. Rob is testing for his master's on the 12th. You got this. Make sure you're studying the right way. Remember the 3 waves method. All that stuff. Focus. You got this. Good morning, Kendra. Glad to have you here. John in the house. Good morning in Nebraska. Chilly. I'm sure it's chilly in Nebraska. We're almost out of this cold stuff. Now I say that. The moment I say that, we're going to get a damn 10 inches of snow. It never fails. But we're almost out of it. Let's see here. Paul, do I have coffee hour stickers? We used to have the coffee hour mugs. I don't know if we produced any new coffee hour stickers, but I'll put that on my list. I'll let you know in a morning episode. I don't think we have any right now. But if you want them, we'll put some coffee hour stickers out there. And we'll make them unique. I'll try to create something unique. What's up, Manny's in the house? We do another sticker giveaway. Maybe it'll be the coffee hour. That type of thing. So let's see here. What else do we got? Oh, with that said, hold on for a second. Let me do something here. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Paul's going to do some stuff on the fly again. Uh-oh, it could get nasty. There we go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oops. I don't want that one. There we go. How about this? What do y'all think? I'm doing this on the fly, dude. How's that? How is that for some boom on the fly? Great time of day. All right. Anyway, enough of that. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here we go. Good morning, Alex. Thanks for joining. Let's see here. Abe's, good morning. Thanks for being here. Good morning, Sil. Thanks for joining us. Michael in the house. Thanks for joining us. Wow, look at all the folks that are coming today. Good morning, David. Glad to have you here over on our Facebook page. We got all these morning welcomes. We got to get them out of the way. We got to do it here. Morning from Delaware. Nelson, what's up? Welcome. Let's see here. Cray Cray. What's up, Cray Cray? From Nashville. Okay, love me some Nashville. All right. And Cray shows us how it's done here. Hashtag win gets us in on the spin. All right. Okay, so let's go look at a code question and let's see if we can answer it. We'll start off easy. We're working from the Journeyman series today. So for those that are in our Fast Tracks program, if you're also wondering where your exam prep questions are, they're all the way at the bottom. So they're in the last module because I really don't like you doing them first. If you're in our Fast Tracks program, or if you're in a study program to learn the NEC, I don't think it's the right way to learn by just using exam prep questions and flipping through the code book. If that's all you've got, that'll work. I mean, that's a supplemental, that'll help. I really think there's a structured way to really study, but I understand if you're like running out of time, you don't have a lot of time, or you get into this late, then exam questions are better than nothing. And in our modules, they're all the way the last folder in your course. We don't put them near the top. But you should be focusing more on the competency reviews and grading because those are the harder questions. But the database is there. Today we are working out of the Journeyman's exam number 4. So that's just so you know what we're doing. What's up, Joseph? Welcome from up in New Jersey. Long-time follower. Thank you for joining us. All right, let's get to the exam prep question. You got your code books. If you're driving down the road like Adam probably is, keep your eyes on the road. We will dictate it as much as possible. So again, we want to make sure that you stay with us here. All right. So here we go. Let's see here. We've got a question on the screen. I got it highlighted, but I'll unhighlight it so it doesn't. What's up, Jack Radio? Hey, there's a CMECP in the house. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. All right. So let's see here. So the first question we get is the width of clear working space in front of a 120 volt electrical equipment shall be the width of the equipment or blank, whichever is greater. 3 feet, 24 inches, 30 inches, or 3.5 feet. Right? So we have a bunch of different options here. Good morning, Tito. Glad to have you here. Tito with the win, folks. Hashtag win. What's up, John? I see you in here also as well. I see you in here. All right. Okay, folks, so think about this question now. You all know as well as I know that when we're dealing with working in front of electrical equipment, we have a width requirement, we have a depth requirement, and we have a height requirement for this working clearance. Now, when I see this kind of question, again, this is one of those ones that rather than go to the index, rather than go look, this is one of those ones that I'm just going to tell you. You need to get used to 110.26. You need to get used to all of these working space things. And so again, one of the things to remember, working clearance around electrical equipment, working clearance, 110.26, working clearance, 110.26. I want to remind you that the index is great. We're not going to use it today. There's a reason, because today we want to look at a question and we want to just listen and learn. Okay, y'all know I have the index, but we want to listen and learn and kind of try to absorb and use our current knowledge that we have to look at a question, and then we'll take a question and we'll pull out all the little pieces of it that makes you remember. And I'll throw you some little tidbits, okay? That type of thing. Okay, so there you go, okay? Let's see. We do have a question. Trey says, Trey, fast track student from Nebraska. Quick question. When I got the program, Nebraska was still on 2017. Now you had to have been on the program for quite a while. So it says now they've adopted 2023, purchased the 2020. All right, now I'm confused. They were on the 2017, but you got the 2020 and they're now on the 2023. Well, the principles of studying are still going to be the same. Are there going to be some code reference differences? Yes. And you're just going to have to deal with that. So I think you can still be successful with it. I'm still going to run you through the same concepts. There's only a few changes when it comes to little calculation things between the 2023 and 2020 and 2017. But I think you'll be okay. I think that you have to recognize that you might be looking at something and in the 2020 program, and it may be a code reference difference because they move things around. You're just going to have to adapt to that. So the best way that you can study like that is to have two code books handy, so that if you look up something and you look at a question and it's not what you expected where it is, then you've got the other code book to go look at. That's the best way you're going to study. Okay. Short of upgrading to getting another course, that's the best way you're going to do it. Can you do it? Absolutely. Is it going to be a little tougher for those that are in different code cycles and different prep courses? Yeah, it's going to be tougher, but the same principles apply. Okay. Same concepts of how you look up questions and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think you get it. All right. So anyway, what we got here is, so we got the question. We have people throwing out answers. That is awesome. It looks like I've seen all good answers so far. So that is very encouraging. Y'all got me feeling encouraged this morning. Okay. All right. So if we were to go over to the NEC real quick and look at that up. All right. You see, I got this little slide out thing working here. However it was. So again, so that question looked very much to me like a general working space, working clearance type of question. And you just need to lock into your mind that that's going to be a 110.26 type question. It's going to be a general requirement. Okay. So you go down here and you're going to go to 110.26 right here. Boom. Okay. And we're going to shut this down because I can now. For some reason, it started working. I don't know why, but it did. All right, and remember our question is the width of the clearance. Width. So this is depth, okay? Not what we want, all right? We want the width right here. So the width of the working space. Now on an exam, the moment that I saw width and I saw 30, boom, I'm going back to the question and I'm going to answer the question. But you just want to see it. Width, okay? So there you go. Width of the working space of electrical equipment is 30 inches or whichever is greater. So it could be greater, and that's what it says in the question, but we know the answer is 30. Now, while I'm here real quick, I did want to talk about this working space table because this is something that people get wrong sometimes. So this is interesting. When you see a question on an exam and it talks about working spaces and it makes reference to this table, for example, notice that this is nominal voltage to ground. So again, a 120 240 volt panel, by the way, is still going to be in this right here, okay? Because it is 120 to ground. So don't lose sight of that. I have a lot of people on an exam that's 240. They jump here for some reason. And, you know, of course, in condition 1, which your conditions are down here, which is your normal condition, it's still the same 3 feet. And you may luck out and get it right, okay? But just want to remind you that if they throw a condition 2 in there and they tell you that it is 240 volts and you jump down here because you're not understanding what this means, then it is 3 feet 6 inches and you'll get that question wrong. Remember, it's nominal voltage to ground. So if it's a 120 240, then the voltage to ground is 120. If it's a 120 208, the 120 to ground is going to still fall here, okay? All right, just wanted to throw that out there. I sometimes like to throw those little tidbits out there. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that we get it all. So here we go. So we say it's 30. Let's click it. And here's our reference. I'll scroll down so you can see. There you go, 110.26A2. All right, and that's what we got. Peachy. We did good on this one, okay? What does Tyler say? I'm sorry, Tyler. I missed you here. Tyler says, morning, all times for the daughter and I to get some knowledge. There you go. Bringing the daughter into the house. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. People are bringing family members in it. And what a wonderful trade. And to be able to incorporate the whole family. You know, I often say, I wish that my son have wanted or had a desire to be an electro because I could have probably saved him a lot of trouble. You know, he's a problematic adult, And I probably did a poor job as a parent raising him. I thought I'd try to do the best that I could, but it is what it is. So let's see. Paul says, what's the voltage on 151 to 600 XS01? I'm not sure your question, Paul. I'm not sure that question because it tells you right here, there's the nominal voltage, but it's just giving you. I mean, what's the voltage? You could have, there are systems out there that may run or give you over 601 volts to ground. They might be a unique transformer setup or something. It might be also, since this code is used also in other countries, when they adopt the NEC, they may have a voltage setup, like in Canada. They might have a voltage setup that is a little different, that type of thing. But again, just remember, it's nominal voltage to ground. So exam prep conditions, we want to make sure we fall within these spectrums here. Okay, so most of the stuff we're going to use probably. Now, the other thing to remember, there are working clearance requirements also for over 1,000 volts. So you would go look at that as well. I believe that has its own. If we go back over here and we go down here, you see we have an over voltage right here. And then we got working clearances for that as well. Okay, so it gives you some information here, working space around, yada, yada. And you see like this here. So working space around gutters, and you see that it has its own little table here, okay, for, again, nominal voltage to ground, okay? So you got medium voltage here and high voltage here and all that type. So that's all over, you know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, good. I hope that answers your question. I don't know of any in the U.S. that I can think of unless there's some type of transformer that does put it out higher. And then the easiest thing to remember is once you know the voltage, you know how to apply the table. That's the key thing. All right. So let's go to by the way, we are in sample database 4, in case anybody asks. And you see there's 90 questions in that database. So we're just I just skipped to 10 because we've done some before. Let's see. What does Trey say? I purchased a program July 29th of last year, and of August of last year, they adopted 2023. Okay. I know what you're asking, Trey, but I can't help you. You buy what you buy. I can't help it. As I tell people, I don't pick the courses for people. They have to buy it, and I can't control the state. You know what I'm saying? So, sadly, I do have people that purchase a course, and a month later, the state changes, and there's really nothing I can do for them. It is what it is. Okay, the next one. Through whatever, a blank THA conductor in a conduit is restricted to 55 amps of current for derating purposes. The insulation value is blank amps. Okay, though a blank THA conductor in a conduit is restricted to 55 amps of current. So we're going to make an assumption that something is restricting it to 55 amps, right? So we have to go, okay, well, what conductor would be doing that? All right, okay, 55, restricting something to 55 amps. All right, so in my mind, I'm going to be like, oops, hold on here. I got somebody coming in on a text here. All right, so in my mind, I'm saying, okay, so THHN, we already know is a 90-degree rated insulation, right? It's 90-degree rated. So if something is restricting it to 55 amps for the purpose of derating, right, then it says, see, blank conductor, it says for derating purposes, the insulation value is blank amps, right? So let's see here. How would we read this question? It's a weird question. So we have to go look at ampacities. You know what I'm saying? We have to go look at the ampacities and see what we're doing on. So let's go over to the code real quick and see if we can get a flavor for this question. Let's see here. Let me just go to 310.16 here. Oh, let's go right here. Okay, so we're at ampacity. Let's throw up some ampacities real quick. Okay, so the question said it was THHN conductor in a conduit. It's restricted to 55 amps. of current for derating purposes. Okay, so let's see here. So it looks, if we looked at the 90, just tried to answer the question, we look at it and go, let's see, it's 90, right? But we don't know the values for the D rate. Really don't know the values for the D rate. Okay, so the chances are that if we're over here and we're doing a D rate, right, and we know that it's under 100 amps, right? So we're looking at it, and so here's the thing, is we know that the table is restricting it, okay? And it didn't say anything about adjustment or corrections. That's a tricky question. So it didn't say anything about adjustment and corrections, right? But we know that the 8, right, is restricted to 55 amps. That's an 8 that's restricted, okay? So we didn't say anything about adjustment and corrective purposes in here. It didn't say, it just said it's restricted at, so we're assuming an adjustment and correction, all right? And then, of course, then we know that if that's the case, if it's restricted to 55 amps, then it's probably going to fall under the 75-degree column. It's a weird question. So it looks like 65 is greater than 55, right? And so it's just a weird question. So it would be insulation value, in this case, would probably drop us to probably going to be a 6 gauge. And we're going to follow, because we can't really get there for the 90, because again, it's the restriction is going to restrict us. So this assumes something's being done. I don't know. This is not a good question, folks. This is an example of not a good question. 55, but since 55, you can't use 90 unless you're doing adjustment or corrections purposes. We know it's CHHN, but we don't know what the lugs are. We don't know anything about that. So that's one thing. This is one of those questions where you look at it and go, you didn't tell me anything. You did tell me as insulation is CHHN, but you didn't tell me anything else. So assuming the lugs are going to be a restricting component here, right? So we're going to look back and say, well, it looks to me like because of that, I'm going to be restricted down here to the 60-degree column, right? Or the 75. And I don't really know the lugs. So this is a really poor question. So this would be an example in your database where you just chalk it up to, this is a stupid question. But if I had to make a guess on one based on it, then I would probably say, here's my deductive logic. THHN is 90-degree rated insulation, but it is also happens to be THWN-2, which it doesn't state here, which is going to be restricting, okay? So at the end of the day, I would say the best plausible answer here is a 6 AWG regardless, okay? So that one's first. So here's how we do the deductive reasoning, right? So this is how, let me show you how you would do one of these on an exam if you had to guess. This is a great question for this. Heaven forbid you get a crapola type question like this, which is kind of off the ball. First of all, you know to always assume what? What do we always assume? Okay. Yeah, we'll throw this into the hog, see what it says. But the hog might be stumped too, because this is a sucky question. But first of all, let's do a deductive reasoning, guys. This will be a good one for this one. Let's see if it works for us, because we hadn't chosen the answer yet. I don't know what the answer is. So let's go. We know it's copper because it doesn't say anything otherwise. So that's a good one. We got that. So we can eliminate these two, right? Because they're dealing with aluminum, right? Deductive reasoning. Boom. We can get rid of these. So next, it only leaves us an 8 and a 6, right? Well, if we look at the 8, then we know that at the 8, 40 is under the 60-degree column, right? But we says that it was restricted to 55 amps, right? So that's going to move that one out of the option, because under the 60-degree, an 8 gauge is good for 40. But we already says that it's been restricted to 55 amps, right? So that eliminates this one. So the only logical choice is this one. Let's see. Let's hold on. Let's do a special one here. Let's see if we can do this here. Let's look at it. Enough of that. Boom. Table 3, 10, 16. So this is an example of one where if you get a crappy one on a test, use deductive logic reasoning to try to come up with it and see. All right, so now this is a really dumb question. So let's see if we can't. Let's go on. I love doing this kind of stuff. I love trying to stump the hog. Oops, hold on. I've screwed up on my thing here. All right, well, we'll fix it here in a second. Let's go to the hog. All right, we're at the hog. Hog is a little out of sizing here. So let's see if I can't bring the hog back in a little bit. Now, I didn't adjust it ahead of time, guys, so we're stuck with what we got. I didn't adjust it on this screen. I think because I screwed the screens. There we go. Let's go here. Let's try it from here. Sorry about that, guys. I've clicked the wrong button. All right, so let's paste it in the hog and see what the hog says. I shared the wrong screen. Sorry. All right. Okay, so let's see what here it says. For a 10 THHN in a condo, did it say a 10 anywhere? I didn't say. For ampacity is 30 according to the, however, the derating purposes, 90, ensure the derating, yada, 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 yada. Now, totally not a good question for the hog. Even the hog doesn't seem to understand what it's asking. And so I'll say, what about 6 AWG since, let's see here, let me train the hog here. Since column, since the 60-degree column, again, crap in, crap out. It's hard to get the answer when you ask the hog stupid questions. Okay, what is 6 since it's not that intelligent yet? Be worried if it was. The column shows the ampacity as 55 amps. I'm spitballing stuff in there to see what it says. Okay, it says for 6 copper conductor, the ampacity is restricted to 55 amps according to the 60-degree column. However, the derating purpose of the installation was based on the 90-degree, which is 75. Okay, maybe that's, okay, so that's in line with our question. Remember it said the 75 and our answer was 6 and 75. Okay, so when applying the derating, however, the final adjustment is 75 in value, yada, yada. So not a good one for the hog. You know, not a good one for us. Hell, it's stumped us on that one, to be honest with you. Okay, it's the best we could come up with on that using my deductive logic. But yes, that's how you would deductively logic it and try to find it out. Okay, let's see here. Going back to the hog real quick. Let's see here. I gotta make sure I share the right screen because I screwed up last time. Let's go back to the hog real quick. And let me share, let's see here. I got to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Oh, God, I'm sharing the wrong screens again, folks. Hold on. Woo! God, I totally got messed up. All right, here we are at the hog. Okay, so let's see here. Remember that question we asked earlier about the width in front of the equipment? Let's make sure the hog is in tune. So we got to ask the hog. Let's ask it. Let's go. Just want to see that the hog is in tune with us because that's a more logical question. Okay, the hog did say from the front of a 120 panel, the width, the equipment should be 30 inches, whichever is greater, as specified in 110.26a2. Okay, more logical question. So when you get those crapola questions, okay, when you get your crapola type of questions, try to use deductive logic because I'm going to tell you right now, folks, and I've said this for years, you are going to get some bad questions on exams. You're going to get some bad questions in a database, okay? You know what I'm saying? It's just is what it is. Hey, thanks, Alex. Yeah, I've come to realize that I did all I could do, and it is what it is. I tried to give him everything. Probably that's the problem. I probably spoiled him. Okay, time to wake. Adam says it's time to wake up the hog. Yeah, the problem is if that's a crap question because I could have asked that question a little bit better because that one doesn't give any variables. So that was not a good question in the database. Okay, but hey, you're gonna get funky questions, that type of thing. All right, next question. Meter sockets. Okay, shall be considered meter sockets shall not be considered service equipment, but shall be listed and rated for the rating of the service. Okay, so meter sockets are considered service equipment. They're not service equipment. We all know that. Let's see here. Let me get my next screen up here. All right, so we know that. It is asking about a service. So this is where we start thinking in our mind. What's up, Trenton? Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Meter sockets, but it's talking about service equipment. So we know the meter sockets is interposed somewhere in the service conductors coming in and the service equipment, right? So good morning, Christopher. Thanks for joining us. So we know that this is not, me and you know that a meter is not service equipment. We know that. We studied long enough, we know that. But it is we need to answer this question. And you could try to use deductive logic and say, well, it's got to have voltage and current rating, current and power rating, or voltage and volt amp rating. You could be saying all that stuff. But you and I both know that it's going to be under services. So when I go to the indexes, I can look under service. I can look under service equipment. I can look under meters. All these things are potential trigger words that we could look at in our index. Now, we're not going to go to the index today. Again, I could key it up, but why do that? So we're going to kind of just use our logic to solve these. Right? So this is a service question. You know it's going to be somewhere in 230. Use the index or use bold scanning. Okay? Now, we're going to take this question. I'm going to copy it. And I am going to go to the hog. And I'm going to type this in a call hog, and let's see what the hog says. See if the hog's right. More logical approach to the question. Okay. So meter sockets shall not be considered, but they shall be listed and rated. Okay. Listed and rated for the ampere rating of the service. Okay. So that would be current, right? And let's see here. Okay. But what's the key thing is like, okay, well, this tells me 312.8b. I don't think that is true. So here's where we use our logic. So Jeff's listening. I don't know what 312.8 is, by the way, but I'm saying, what about in services? Just to ask the hog this morning. The hog is struggling today. Okay, so this says amperage, which would be current, and voltage. Then it gives us a right. So you see how I fed it and I said, okay, that doesn't sound right. Now, this is the same way you would really use it in real time. If I went to 312.8b, which incidentally, I will go to real quickly just to see what the hell that reference was. Let's see, I'm curious now. 312.8. Let's see here. It was 312.8, right? That was the reference. All right, so let's see here. What is it? What did it say? 312.8b. Okay, that's what it said. So 312.8a, and here's B. Okay, so B is power management. It actually has absolutely nothing to do with the question. And so I'm going to train the hog. So I'm going to go back to the hog. And I'm going to say your reference to 312.8. Now, I got it right on the follow-up, but I had to be more specific. Your reference to 312 is wrong. See what the hog says. I apologize for this oversight. The correct response for the meter socket is being considered is listed and rated for the amperage and voltage rating. Okay, and all this type of thing. And it's also now given 230.82.3. Now, we're continually training. Remember, the hog is learning in my model, and Jeff records everything that we do. So I'm going to help Jeff out here because I'm going to go look at 230.82.3. We already know the answer, but I want to look 230. What is it? 230.82.3. 230.82.3 right here. Meters. Okay. Yada, yada, yada. I don't really see anything in this one that would help it. So the hog is struggling today. It will get it, and it's not perfect. So this is a great example where the hog is having its morning, can have its coughing. We all struggle. And Bobby, I'm not struggling. I can't help. The hog is struggling, but I know the answer. So I was like, okay. All right, hog. They don't like that answer. So again, in this case, voltage and current, we did get one of the references in there in 230.66, and Jeff will update the hog and make sure that it's referenced, but there's the 230.66. So hog is kind of okay this morning. Struggled with that one a little bit. Okay. All right. So again, it's designed to answer questions that you would just ask at random, not these like exam prep type questions. So again, I never have recommended it for exam prep, but to use for that, because you should be looking up the answers yourself. But we're feeding the hog here. Might as well do some hog feeding. All right, the next question is in a Class 1, Division 1 location. Okay, we know that Class 1, okay, flammable gases, vapors. What was the answer? Voltage and current. Voltage and current was the answer. Okay. I thought I clicked it on the screen and it turned green. I can't go back now. It doesn't allow me to go backwards. Okay. All right. It was in 230.66. That's where you'll find it. 230.66B, Bobby, or whoever was that wanted to know, Tino. All right. So Class 1, Division 1. Class 1 is flammable gases, vapors, and liquids. Division 1 means that it's more prevalent than it is in Division 2, which may be storage, or it could happen where it becomes hazardous condition, a ruptured situation. But in a Division 1, it's always present. Okay, so the hazard is always there. Okay, so it's more restrictive, Division 1. Okay, so one of the things that you would do real quickly is that I can tell you is if you remember the different types of locations, this is going to help you. So again, we're not using the index today, but I would go to Class 1, Division 1 in the index, and you easily will find this in the index. But we're going to just try to use logic and deductive reasoning and things like this to get there today. So when I look at this question, I remember that Class 1 of 500 is general. All right, general hazardous location talks about mixtures and different types of things like that. That's the general. 501, I remember the 1. So think of 5 as hazardous location as your base. Think of 501 as what? Flammable vapors, flammable liquids, things like that. Okay, that's 1. 502 is what? Flammable what? Combustible dust. And then 503 is flyings and fibers. So if you think of it that way, the 501 and the 1, think of combustible vapors, flammable vapors, things like that. 502, think about dust and combustible dust. And 503, think about flying fibers like a coke plant or like a wood mill, things like that type of scenario. So in this case, I know that I'm in Class 1, so I am in 501, okay? That's what it's asking. And also because it's asking about seals, okay? So we know that is very specific. It's not generic to all. It's very specific, that type of thing. Now, let's go on and take this question since today is going to be a day that we're going to really test the hog. Because, again, Jeff is recording everything, and he's learning, and we're always training the hog. And these are some weird questions for it to hog. So let's place this question into the hog real quick. And let's see what it says. All right. It says in Class 1 event location, conduit seals must be installed within 18 inches of the enclosure. It's a requirement specified in 501 to 15A11. Okay. which states that the seals shall be installed within 18 inches of each enclosure. All right. So the hog seems to be back on track, right? So hog says 18. So we're just gonna go with the hog, and rather than look it up in the code. It looks like that's what everybody else has as well. So let's see if the hog nailed it this time. Boom, the hog nailed it. There you go, 501.15A1. Okay, so that deals with that. Now, as far as let's see here, the code, we want to go look real quick, and we're over in the code and just want to show you the structure of this real quick. So again, for those that get any takeaways today, here you see 500, that's your general, kind of talks about the classification, location for all classes, and then they get very specific. There's 501, and we're in it, and you see that there's a special one under .15 for seals and drainage, okay? Now, 502, you see that seals is also at .15, okay? 503, you see, you get down to 503, and I don't have any seals part for that. There's no .15 for that, okay? That type of scenario. Okay, so just kind of things to commit to memory and try to remember. But if we go down to seals, we click on seals, get rid of this here, and we get into seals, and we have A1. Again, this one's Class 1, Division 1. And of course, you go down and you'll see that there's also for the boundary, and then you'll see there's a Class 1 Division 2. Just be careful of which one you're looking at. We're talking about here, Class 1 Division 1, one right here, entering enclosures, and you'll go down here, you'll see all of the references here. Oops, right there. And we go down, and you see right here, conduit seals shall be 18 inches from the enclosure, right there. That's where we get it. And if you are in Link, by the way, you do get some extra commentary, and it talks about fittings and seals in 18 inches as well. But anyway, you don't really get to use the electronic version on an exam, so it's just good extra information, right? Okay, good job. Let's move on. All right. This should be an easy one for you. And oh, by the way, if you do get an easy question on an exam, answer it, take it, go away, okay? There you go. The length of free conductor extending beyond the opening of a junction box shall be blank inches. 4, 6, 5, and 3. Now, think about this question for a second. Don't let it throw you, because immediately a lot of people will go, oh, I need a certain length of free conductor, okay? Good morning, Nick. Thanks for joining us, okay? So yeah, most people will throw that out there, David, because you gotta look at it. It says the length of free conductor extending beyond the opening of the junction box. So granted, it didn't tell you the size of the box, right? It didn't tell you the nuances about the box. It just says, oh, extending beyond the opening. So that means we have to think, because we do know that free conductor is 6 inches from the point it emerges from the cable or from the raceway into a box, right? But we also know there's some other nuances there, and you have to really slow down and read the question, because it's not asking you about the overall free conductor. It seems to only be asking about the small portion that may be required to extend beyond the opening. And it doesn't give you anything else. So the reason that I use this database, now exam question 4 in the journeyman one seems to have the most vaguest questions in the whole database. The master ones are much better, but the vague. So I like these because it allows us, and it's the reason I chose it today, and why we're not using the index, is because I already know that this database is a weaker of the databases when it comes to what it gives you. So, but still got to make you think. Still got to make you think. So if I'm thinking about this one, I'm thinking, okay, this is a free conductor rule, but it didn't say anything about overall free conductor length, right? That type of thing. Right? So there you go. So Val says it seems to be 8-inch free conductor, and free box is 6. Okay. Again, you're probably not reading it right there, Val. So let's go to the NEC. Or let's ask the hog. Is maybe the way this one's worded funky, that the hog might see it differently. So let's go to the hog, and ask the hog. We're doing the hog this morning. We're feeding the hog. It's learning. Jeff is watching. So let's see what it says. And it may be full too. All right. So it says the free length of conductor beyond the opening of a junction box must be at least 6 inches. Yada, yada, yada. Let me say here, can you check that again? Let's see here. Can you check that again? Let's see what it says. At least it gives us a code reference. Let's see. Certainly. Let's verify. And what did it do? It went in, and this is what I was trying to show y'all. It does a deep dive model. If you have to have some knowledge. So the hog is one of those things that we designed. It's one of those perpetual fed. Means that what you have to do is if you are code professionals. I mean, you wouldn't be if you weren't. This is why this is only for tradesmen. The trade hog, and we have to be careful how we train this thing. I do not want this to be something that the general Joe Blow guy can go out and get. Your homeowner, your DIYer, your little jiffy do-it-yourselfer, and think that this is going to be the holy grail for them. I know, and you know, that when we went into this, that a trade person already is licensed. They're already skilled. So if you see something, okay, wait a minute, Van Man, let's look at it. And I know you're persistent because you said it 3 times, you know, you and Val, but let's look at it. And what happened, and Paul does too, he says it's 6, but let's look at the question based on what we're given. And I think you'll be shocked here. So the hog is designed to feed into it. And if you're a trade person, you say, that just doesn't sound right. Ask the hog a follow-up question and ask it to clarify. It will actually go back and read it, okay? The question wasn't about regular free conductor. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about the overall length of free conductor. It wants to know the amount that extends beyond the opening and all those variables. It doesn't care. It's all it asks, right? Important. So let's go back to here. And it says right here, I don't do shares, buddy. All right, so it says right here, additionally, at least 3 inches of the conductor must extend outside the opening of the box. Okay. The one good thing is with the hog is that it gives us references. So it gives us 300.14. So we want to go and look at it. And we're going to be in here. Let's get to 300.14. And we'll go down here. We'll go down here to free conductor, length of free conductor. And I will get rid of this here. Okay. So the length of free conductor is 6 inches, right? But it says down here, when the opening of the outlet junction box is less than 8 inches in any dimension, and you weren't given that in the question, but it did tell you beyond the opening. So again, the purpose of this is you are not going to be, everybody wants the question to be written perfect. And because the question is talking about extending beyond the opening, you have to look at it. It says each conductor shall be long enough to extend at least 3 inches outside the opening. And so what happens is people will say, well, you didn't say that. You didn't give the box dimensions. Well, because this question didn't want to know what the free conductor's total length was, it just wanted to know the amount that extends beyond the opening. Well, obviously, if I have 6 inches of free conductor, that doesn't have to extend 6 inches beyond the opening. That's just 6 inches from where it enters into the box. So this is a classic example on an exam. Take your time, read the question, determine what they're asking, okay? Right? So if I'm looking at this question, I'm going to say it's 3. And the reference is 300.14. Because it's asking about extending beyond. No, it didn't say that it was less than 8 inches, none of that. But the way the question's worded, it's the portion that's beyond it, all right? You can't get past the portion of the question that says extends beyond the opening. It doesn't say how much free conductor enters the box. It's beyond the opening. You got to stop and think. 6 would have been the wrong answer from the get-go, because it didn't ask you about the overall free conductor. Great question, by the way, because it allows us to think. That's the beauty of a question like that, okay? All right, let's do some spins real quick. Let's get over to the contest and let's do some spins. Let's give some stuff away. I've got the music geared up here. All right, guys, make sure you do hashtag win to get in on the spin. I've got my, the interesting thing about today's questions is that they were written funkily, if you will. And the Hog got them right once we followed up because they were funky questions. In the field, you're going to look at something and say, that doesn't smell right. And you're going to ask a follow-up question. And guess what? The Hog is going to deep dive. And we're constantly training the Hog. So Jeff is going to be training that module. And he's going to try to write a script. I'm not going to speak for Jeff, but try to write a script that forces the Hog to recheck itself and look at other articles and other sections. That is doable in our model, and we're constantly making it better, okay? So I would say the Hog did okay today, but we as experts had to give it a little more info, right, in order to get it where we wanted to be. We said, that didn't look right. All right, so let's do this here. Y'all ready? Let's go. Let's get a little more. Let me get down on the screen here. Let's get a little more. What's up, Ray? I see you in here. Let's see here. Miguel, I see you in here. All right, let's do the spin. I gotta get another piece of paper, guys. I got so many names and I haven't transferred them into the Excel file yet. All right. Hey, I'm a diabetic. The question of the day is, if I eat this, I might not be here for Friday. I'm just saying. All right. All right, Robbie. All right, Robbie, let me get you down here. Robbie Sanchez. Okay, Robbie, let's spin and see what you get. Giving away some goodies here, getting you on the list. We got a estimating software from Best Bid Hybrid Next Generation. That's almost a $4,000 value. We got an estimating and bidding course that we're drawing for, and a bunch of. You get another. You might already be in this one, but the more you get, the more chances you are to win. We'll be giving away a couple of these. Our mini electrician's knife with engraved electrician on it. They are cool. So let me get you listed for that. So you're in the drawing for the mini knife. Those are so cool. Limited number. They are available over on our store if you want to get one now. Over and get one, but very limited. So let's do another name here. Let's go. Hashtag win. Hashtag win. Thank you guys for joining us today. And tomorrow we'll be working on some calculations. Those that are asking. And I thank you all for sharing the stream and coming and joining. And let me ask questions. That's what we're here for. Today we're just playing around with the code questions. Miguel Cruz. All right, Miguel, let's spin it and see what you get, my friend. If you can get something instant or you can get it on a drawing. And then we're going to do one more question. The first one to answer gets the spin. Right. Oh, hey, there you go, Miguel. You're in the drawing for 12 months of subscription to Trade Hog. Okay, that's the first one of those we've given away. So that's a Trade Hog. You'll be in the drawing for that. And we'll be drawing multiple people out for that. Okay, so that is a great value. You get access to the Hog. So that'd be awesome. And you get the Office Hog too, which is the back end stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to take you to the questions real quick. The first person, I know there's a delay, but I can't help that. The first person that can answer the next question accurately, and you should know this off the top of your head, but the first person to give me the answer and the code reference, and I mean the full accurate code reference, will win. So if you give me the answer, but you don't give me the code reference at the same time, you're not going to get to spin. You ready? I'm going to give it to you. I know there's a delay, but again, I'm asking for those two things in order to be the one that's picked. You ready? Here we go. Look at the question. Gotta have both the code reference and the answer. Don't just give the code reference. Let's go. And don't just give the answer. Go look it up. If you're driving, don't do that. Okay? Anybody? I'm sure you know the answer, but do you know where the reference is in the code? All right? Again, Alberto, you got to give me the code reference. It doesn't count. Doesn't count till you give me the answer and the code reference. Let's see who all can get it. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. David. Boom. Right there. Okay. There you go, David. So, David, you're going to get the spin. We're going to take you back to the contest here. David gets that is 3. Oh, and to show that David's right, let's go back to the lesson real quick. Dave says this one right here, and that is right. And there it is, 300.4a A1. Ooh, David didn't give us all the way the whole reference. Do we still give it to David? Yeah, no, Val, it wouldn't be in 250 because that's grounding and bonding. I'm just saying. All right, so let's go back. David, close enough. You know how James, if he was here, Mr. Simplex would say I'm getting soft because I would want the exact reference. But we'll go with that, David. So let's spin the wheel for you. I'm getting soft. All right, David, you're also in the Trade Hog drawing. What's the deal with that today? Okay, 12-month drawing of 12-month subscription to Trade Hog. You're in that drawing as well. Okay, let's do one more giveaway while we're here. Okay, let's see if it make it work. Doesn't want to work again. Whoa. Welcome to EV Mux. EV Mux. It's not working. All right. Guess that's all the giveaways we're going to have today. Unless I do, let's see, is the spinner work? Nope, spinner doesn't work either. Oh, the spinner works. It's like it's going forever though, doesn't it? Okay. All right. Anyway, it looks like that thing is messing up. Boy, EV Mux. They are one problematic, Hidden says, I know why I didn't put the 1. I was looking right at it. It happens. It happens. But you know what? You are close enough for that. And you get in the drawing for the Trade Hog 12-month subscription. And I'm over time anyway. So let's see here. That's just one of those things that happens. All right, folks. Hey, thank you all. We had 60 plus viewers this morning, I believe, on the stream. It's one of the best we've had for the mornings. That means people, Charlie says, I'll take it. One of the best streams that we've had. I appreciate all of you joining us. Please share it with other people. Come tomorrow. We're going to be talking calculation questions, Ohm's Law, Watt's Law, looking at some parallel stuff. We're going to be working on that tomorrow morning so that we can just kind of wind the week down with some simple, basic feeling of some calculations, some basic calc, some understanding how to convert some things. Okay. So at the end of the day, we appreciate it. Hopefully you like the hog. The hog did's a little wonky today, but again, it's all about, crap in, crap out. But the questions that were structured properly, the hog nailed. And the hog seemed to nail all of them on the follow-up, which when we said, ask it and said, are you sure? Or can you check yourself? We're going to roll that model into the model. In other words, we're going to make it so that the hog, before it spits out an answer, I think we can, Jeff is nodding yes, I think we can force the hog to check itself. Like, check yourself, hog. I think we can do that, and that's just going to make it better. And that's what we're constantly changing, constantly updating it. So that's going to be exciting. All right. Hey, folks, hopefully you got something out of the day. We looked at some pretty cool questions. We didn't use the index today, but remember, it's powerful. The index is not the holy grail, but You pay good money for questions. Take your time, dissect the hell out of a question. You paid for them. Look at all the words, go to the index, look it up, take your time. People tell me, Paul, I don't have but 2 minutes on an exam. How can I spend 10 minutes dissecting a question? How's that going to help me? Well, if you're new, let me explain that you should not be timing yourself until you get down to the last 2 weeks before your exam. And you shouldn't be using any online timers. You should be using your phone or some other timer that you can set to 2 minutes. That way you answer each question individually. I don't want you to think you need to be in a stressful situation where you have a clock going for 3 hours. No, you need to focus on your skills on a question. So 2-minute timers, look up the question, and then move to the next question. And that's going to make you better. And take your time and dissect it. Now, you don't need to time it until you get down to the last 2 weeks. Prior to that, you take your time, dissect the hell out of a question, use the index, use the table of contents, take your time, look for keywords. What does that do for you? That helps you learn the index, that helps you in your maneuvering, that helps you in moving back and forth in the code. It helps you learn what's in the index versus what's not in the index, all those type of things. It just makes you far more rounded in preparing you and raising that comfort level on an exam. Now, in the real world, it just makes it better for you to get the answers quicker so that you're out in the field. And again, time is money. And to be able to find the most accurate answer, you need to have those skills to be able to find things. And so it helps you do that too. So again, take your time, focus on it, you'll get it. All right, folks? All right, that's it. I appreciate all of you. And join us tomorrow where we are going to do some calculations. We're basically going to do just basic electrical math and try to cover some of the Ohm's Law, Watt's Law, all those type of things, formulas and things like that. Voltage drop, we'll cover that as well. So it should be a great show. Make sure you grab your coffee, as Adam will do. Grab your pint of coffee and join us. And Michael Swartzy, try to join us if you can. I know you're a busy dude, but we love to have you. All right, folks. Till next time, stay safe. God bless, and catch you on the next episode of Coffee Hour.